Um, so my name's Annie, and I do rhetoric and border rhetoric specifically in decolonial studies. And I transferred here from the University of Iowa. But I also do art, and I do art ever since I was a kid. I started painting when I was 15. And to make ends meet, I taught classes, just like painting classes on the side. So then in 2020, when I transferred here, I did a lot of art classes just to do ends meet. In 2020, when I transferred here, I was taking a class with Dr. Shrivi, and she really encouraged me to take my art and combine it with the theories. And then she encouraged me to look into the Justice Fleet. And the Justice Fleet is a project by a scholar, a communication scholar named Amber Johnson. And they created a truck that where they do projects with the community after the shooting of Michael Brown. And Dr. Shrivi was you need to write something where you explain how you theorize stuff, and so that you can teach others as well. You can share what you do. And that's how I ended up writing it was first a grant proposal and then applying for the fellow. And I have a class. I'm teaching the class tomorrow, but I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. And it's actually a video, if that's okay. You just go to it. Okay, what's it doing? Stop share. I'm going to share again. So I made this for you guys just so that you could see a little bit of how I am going to explain things tomorrow. Can you hear it? So I'm a rhetorician, but I'm not a very good rhetorician. A lot of times I can't find my words. And when I can't find my words, I give them images. Somehow, the colors and the images make it easier for me to understand things. Theories and all that stuff that I have to study. This particular image and drawing that I'm doing today, I did many years ago. I did it more to understand myself than anything else. And then later on I connected it to my ideas of coloniality and decoloniality. So right now I'm just drawing a tree. And with that tree, I'm going to explain to you how I come about coloniality and then decoloniality. Por más que crezca, vas a estar aquí. Aunque yo me oculte tras la montaña y encuentre un campo lleno de caña, no habrá manera, mi rayo de luna, que tú te vayas. I'll start with this. Coloniality per Aníbal Quijano means the dominion of a culture to such extent that their knowledge creation and culture creation itself was taken over. I start with that so that you can think about it as I paint. I think about my own background, who I am and where I came from, where I've been, because that's exactly what I was thinking when I first did this painting many years ago. My favorite part of this art is this tree. And the reason for the tree is because I think it represents all of it. It represents us. It represents the structures. It represents that coloniality that Quijano talks about. It represents the way in which we can also break from it. So this is what I'm doing tomorrow, but to a class of like 15 people. I'm not gonna Bob Ross it as much. Because in all reality, trees are never perfect. My tree is not perfect. They're always different. And that's okay because our roots are always different, and the way we stand and the things that hold us together are always different. Sometimes we are oppressed and sometimes we are the oppressors. We play both roles. So one thing that happens as I paint this is that the horizon line that I draw kind of fades. So I have to put it back in, but not too dark. Like I just take a little bit of brown and then I put it in. Pienso que cada instante sobrevivido al caminar, cada segundo de incertidumbre, cada momento de no saber, son la clave exacta de ese tiempo. And the trees are not actually very complicated, the leaves. It's just one brush and a lot of pressing. I actually like to do this as well with charcoal. You just start kind of having fun with them. It's good to do it to a song. And then you can think, what would it look like to move away from the dominion of the Western global economy? Or you can think, what would it mean like for people to create their own knowledge for people? If you're a person of color, or if you're a person of difference, then what would it look like for you to be represented? So I know some of you are artists and you don't need the instruction, but I was like thinking about how I'm gonna teach it tomorrow. And just
Circle. The oval. On the circle. These were some of my birds, like, they're a little bigger than they should be. Oval. Circle. Then you basically give them all tails. Just like and then you can give them wings. And the wings are like when you were little and you used to draw seagulls. That, and then you fill it in. And then this one you can't see as much, so it would just be like skinnier. Is may your roots collide on a well-rooted flight. Because if you understand your colonial roots and where you come from, if you understand that roots move and that they set at different places depending on where they're at and the atmosphere around them and the ground around them, then you understand that you as well and the processes around you change as well. And then if you can do that, then you're able to imagine different things and take different flights.
Yo te llevo dentro hasta la raíz y por más que